Hello to everyone and anyone watching this video. My name is Taja. Welcome back to my channel. So, as you can tell by the title, this is going to be another video where I yap for ages while you watch me put my makeup on for something. And what you're watching me put makeup on for is for a date. I know, right? So, before I continue, I want to give a couple of disclaimers. So, disclaimer number one is about the title. There's been a lot of reported cases of femicide recently. This video is not about that. This is more about my anxiety over dating and men and stuff like that. This is not about the more serious side of how scary men can be. I wouldn't make a video so lighthearted as me do my makeup while talking about such a serious topic, because there's been so many horrible cases happening recently, and it's a really scary time to be a woman. Sending all my love to my fellow women, non-binary, femme-presenting people of the world. Any men watching this, do better. Please support and use your privilege to speak up and speak out. If you see your male friends doing anything crazy, moving mad and harming women, then, say something, do something. The second disclaimer is I really highly doubt it, but just in case any of the men who I've gone on a date with recently is watching this, please don't watch this. Please don't watch this. Spoiler alert, I'm no longer dating these men. I never got far enough for me to tell them that I have a YouTube channel, but you never know. So yeah, if you went on a date with me around September, October 2024, just don't watch this, please, because I'll be so embarrassed. But also, you don't need to worry about me saying anything personal about you, or I'm not going to expose you or anything. No one's going to know who you are or who I'm talking about, so don't worry. I'm not going to talk about the dates in specifics. Actually, what I'm going to do, I think, let me know in the comments if you guys want this, but I think I might, on my Patreon, spill the tea on how the dates went in more detail, so that way it will be my Patreon, which is private, and if you want to hear how those dates went, you can pay, I think it's £3 a month, and I can share. I recently also unlisted a bunch of videos, but I think there's a couple of videos I'm gonna put on my Patreon. For example, a video I reference quite a lot, but I haven't had it public for a while, is a video I made February 2023 about the very first date I went on ever, because that was about a topic that was quite private. But let me know, because I won't bother wasting my time telling you how the dates went if no one's gonna actually, because I haven't got any subscribers to my Patreon right now. So yeah, just let me know if you want that and I'll do that. But then obviously you guys have to subscribe to my Patreon, please. Cost of living crisis, babes, please. Okay, so as I said, this is gonna be a video where I yap about my recent experiences dating. Did I even say that? I don't know. But yeah, so I have recently started dating properly, and this is the first time I've actually properly started dating. I'm 26 years old, and I've never casually dated before. No, that's not true. So, okay, I'm gonna just take it back. So, when I say casually dated before, I mean in a sense of going on loads of dates with different people. I don't mean as in what I went through in 2022, which, oh my god. If you watch my channel, not only do I always bring this up, but I always say when I bring it up, I need to stop bringing it up. But unfortunately, it is relevant to the video. I'm going to really try my hardest to speak as little as possible about the 2022-2023 situation, but it's a good chance that it's going to come up a bit, and I'm sorry, because I've said so many times I'm going to stop talking about it, but I can't help myself, babes, and also it is kind of relevant, unfortunately. In regards to that video that I privated in 2023, February, in that video I did give a kind of dating history, kind of. I went on my very first date ever, age 24, while interrailing in Berlin. And it was very, very eventful. In the video where I talk about it, I explained why it took me 24 years to go on a date. But since that video is unlisted, unless you subscribe to my Patreon and you can see the video, you won't be able to know the background. So I'm not going to go into too much detail because, like I said, I did make a whole video about it, even though it's unlisted, but you can see it again on my Patreon. I'm going to keep plugging my Patreon, guys. I'm so broke, please. But basically, I'm going to give you a very short summary of my dating history. So basically, growing up, I never dated. I went to a girls' school, so I was around guys. And then when I got to sixth form and uni, there was loads of reasons why I didn't ever date, or I wasn't too involved with guys. One, I was very insecure, and then also very picky as well. Even though somehow I still managed to pick the wrong guys. LOL. Another thing is anxiety. Like my anxiety, and that's something I'm going to talk about more in this video, but my anxiety, my social anxiety. So I have very bad social anxiety, and unfortunately men are my triggers. And that is the kind of the inspiration for the title of this video, is that like genuinely men are such a big trigger for me, for my social anxiety. As someone who exclusively dates men, I feel like when I'm interacting with a man, especially when I find him attractive, my brain does this really annoying thing where it puts like pressure on myself. I'm like extra like sensitive to the interaction, if that makes any sense. I just overthink everything and I get into such a mess and I get so panicky and it's just awful. But it also sucked because I am a hopeless romantic. I'm a Pisces moon. I love me some love. I long to be in love. I long to be in a relationship. But I just like, I don't know, I want intimacy, but I also fear it. And yeah, that's been how it is for my whole life, basically. Also, as well, I never had like a good example of a healthy relationship. I never grew up watching or seeing a healthy relationship. That also affected my judgment as well into my adulthood. I feel like I have a very like jaded and pessimistic view of love, and I think that increased when I went through my date experience. Well, date slash holiday fling slash being breadcrumbs for months slash he travelled with his ex, but I wasn't sure if she was his ex or they were back together or if they were always together. That whole time that he was breadcrumbing me slash he ghosted me when I was in the city that he lives in. I will link the video that I posted this Valentine's Day, not last Valentine's Day, not the one I unlisted, but I made a video this Valentine's Day, February, about everything I learnt about experiencing my first heartbreak. So you can watch that if you want to. That experience really like fucked me up. Even though like I did learn a lot and I'm grateful that I was able to experience that and learn from it and stuff like that. I wouldn't change what happened. But also it unfortunately made me really, really, really jaded and made me feel like really pessimistic when it came to love. And even though I am still a hopeless romantic, I also feel like I don't know, it got to a point where I almost accepted that maybe I'm never gonna find someone, I'm never gonna fall in love, I'm never gonna be in a relationship. And I was, for the most part, kind of like, yeah, I think I'm okay with that. And genuinely, even now, to be honest, like even though I am dating now, I'm dating with the mindset that I may not find someone. I don't even think it's crazy to say that because the streets are cold. I don't know if it's London men or if it's just like men in general, but guys, it's hard out here. Why I'm dating now? Basically, despite the fact that I had that traumatic experience and I was kind of feeling like maybe I'm happy to be alone forever, for the most part. At the same time, I feel like, I'm going to be completely honest, it was a pressure thing. Pressure on myself, but also like, I'm not gonna lie, pressure from other people, to be honest. Like, for example, and this is no hate to like, I mean, for example, the people at work, no hate to them at all. But for example, you know, I'll be at work and we'll be talking about our love lives, and then people ask me, "Oh, any dates yet? Talking to anyone?" Da da da. You know, and I'll be like, "No," and it's like, "Oh, Taja, I need to find a man," and then they'll tease me, and then there might be someone like semi-attractive who comes into our pub and then they're like, "Oh yeah, Taja, that's your boyfriend." I'm like, "Ha, leave me alone." It's like kind of like a bit of pressure, I think, I put on myself, but also from other people to like date and like kind of whatever. But also I think I've said this before, but I really value character. I feel like you really grow and become, you know, a richer person and create a greater sense of self when you have character. And I also think that the way that you build character is through experiences and having as much experiences as possible. And that's why I kind of live my life, you know, doing as much as possible, as long as my like anxiety allows it. Because, you know, as I'm going to talk about, my anxiety is really bad and it'll stop me doing a lot of things and saying no to a lot of things. But honestly, like whenever I choose to do like kind of big experiences, life experiences or whatever, like it always adds character, which is such an enriching thing for me and something I really, really value. So yeah, I feel like there was a whole section of my life that was like underdeveloped, which was the love section. And I feel like dating is something I needed to do for myself to kind of like enrich that part of myself in that life. I've learned so much from this experience, and as I predicted, it is building my character, and I'm learning so much about what I want from relationships and what I don't want, just so many things. Another reason is, I'm gonna be so for real, I'm bored as hell. Like, I'm tired. I needed the year also to heal from the whole situation from 2022/2023, and I've healed now. And yeah, I'm ready to just, have fun. So, fun fact, I've actually been on dating apps since 18. But what would happen is I would download them. Normally be summer. I went to Leeds University and the men in Leeds were not giving. So it'd be normally in the summer. I come back to London for the summer, download all the dating apps. What would happen is I would swipe, get a few matches, attempt to talk to people. I say attempt because my anxiety was so bad that like I had to like fight for my life to just like send reply to a message. It was really bad. And then like going like meeting up with someone, out the window. Absolutely not. I would like find a reason to ghost before that happened. Like ghost block, stop responding, like really bad, so notorious. Like I'd give the deadest chats, or I would ghost, like I said, or just something, because I just couldn't do it because my anxiety was so bad. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like unless you have anxiety, like it's so hard to understand, because it's like, what's so scary about just sending a message? What's so scary about, meeting up with someone? Like, everyone gets a bit nervous, but you don't understand how debilitating it is. And it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but unless you have anxiety, you're not going to understand just how debilitating it is and how scary. I remember seeing a tweet that was like, how can you have social anxiety, like, online? But I have online social anxiety as well as, like, IRL, like, even like messaging friends and stuff. This is a bit of a tangent, but even like messaging friends or like messaging people, or even like emailing, or I mean not emailing, because if I'm emailing it's normally for work and I kind of have to do that, but in a casual sense, like I overthink everything. I'm like, oh, should I send this meme to this person? Should I message this person? Should I do this? Should I do that? And because the thing is with me, when I'm messaging someone on dating apps, I'll see the message and then like I'll like, even like opening it gives me anxiety. So I'll take ages to like open the message. And then once I bring myself to open it, I then have to like read the message, analyze it, and then like think why I'm going to respond. And I overthink what I'm going to respond, make sure it's not something stupid, and then respond to it. And it takes me ages. So I'm quite a slow replier. So sorry to anyone I've ever messaged on a dating app. That's why I'm so slow. Dating apps, even though I've used them for like, I'm 26, 18, so 8 years. Even though I've used them for like nearly 10 years, I've never actually like had any success with them until my first date 2 years ago, and then my current dates. With the anxiety thing and the replying slow and stuff, that's something I'm really trying to like get better at, and not like overthinking it too much. Because I think when I do that, it's me just putting pressure on it. For example, I'm currently speaking to someone on Hinge now, very early stages, but rather than taking so long to like respond, I'm really challenging myself to just like, I see the message, I click it, I respond straight away. Do you know what I mean? So like I said, I've learned so much, guys. If I could tell myself like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old me, I wish I could tell her to not wait until you're in your mid-20s to start dating, because it's so embarrassing having these experiences for the first time in your mid-20s. It's so embarrassing. I feel like I'm too grown to have these first experiences, but it's fine. Like, I think if it was a case of I wasn't ready and I genuinely didn't want to date until this time, then it'd be fine. But the fact that I wanted to, but I was just too scared, that's the difference. Do you know what I mean? I bet later than never, I guess, though. I've got some notes. I'm going to share the things I've learned that I've written down. So, number one, I'm learning that I know what I want. Before I started this dating journey, I wasn't sure what I wanted. I didn't know if I wanted just a bit of casual situations or like long-term thing or whatever, but I'm learning that I do want something serious. I've decided I do want something long-term serious. I want a man, guys. I'm ready to have a boyfriend. I'm actually ready, which is so scary to think about, because I think when you just want something casual, it's easier to like not have to open up so much, because it's like you don't have to know them so well. But with a relationship, I feel like there's so much more of yourself that you have to share, and that terrifies me, guys. But I'm at a stage where I'm ready to do that. I don't want to be knee deep in the passenger seat and you're eating me out as a casual now. You know what I mean? That's not the vibe I'm looking for. I want someone who's serious about me. I want someone who knows what they want and is open and clear about what they want. And I'm not having to like question, do they like me? Are they interested? And I think the 2 dates I went on really showed me that, because, I need to be careful what I'm saying. But basically one day I was like, question marks, not sure. And the second one was like, so much good communication. Everything was like kind of like open and clear, even though none of them worked out, but I still like appreciated like the clear communication from one of them, which was really good. And I know now that when it comes to finding someone, I want someone who's like very 100% explicitly clear what they want and what they want from me, so I know that, you know, I can pursue it and not have anxiety over if they want me or not, or overthinking. Because I just think when it's like, when I get like hot and cold messages or whatever, when it's like not clear, it just like makes my anxiety worse and I overthink things more. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm already psychotic enough, you know what I mean? I need someone who's like very, very clear about what they want. Another thing I've learned, guys, okay, I knew this, but I've learned that men are so unserious. Honestly, I think I learned this from this situation from a couple years ago. But honestly, guys, like I said, I'm not gonna say how like the details of the guys I dated. But it's actually insane how men act though, because, you know, I don't know if you've seen those like TikToks where it's like men will do the most romantic thing and then they'll ghost you. Or they'll be like, they'll do the most intense things and then they'll say they didn't want anything serious. You'll literally be having a moment and it's like, this is the most romantic thing I've ever experienced in my life. And then like, it's nothing to them. And this is why, going back to, I'm sorry I'm bringing it up again, but going back to my heartbreak from a couple years ago, last year, whatever, I think that experience really, like, even though it's kind of sad that, like, that experience jaded me so much and kind of took away my innocence, or, like, I don't know if that's the right word, but, like, my kind of, like, naivety over, like, love and stuff. I think at the same time, it was good because it kind of, like, grounded me and made me look at romantic situations more realistically, because one of the dates I went on, I feel like if I hadn't gone through the situation I went through 2022, 2023, I would have left the day I went on recently thinking, oh my God, like, we're in love. But because I was clued up at this point, 2024 September, Taja was clued up. So I knew not to take it on. So I'm so grateful for that. Another thing is that I am realizing that I need someone who is a big personality. I feel like I prefer men who don't make me feel like I'm too much, because I am crazy, guys. I'm not trying to be like, I'm so quirky and crazy, but I'm a bit weird. I feel like I'm like quoting like that meme, I'm weird, I'm a weirdo. But I'm kind of weird, guys. I am. I'm sorry to quote that meme, but I am. I'm a bit of a freak. I'm a bit of a weird little freak, and I need someone to match my freak. And there's one day I went on where I felt like with this particular person, I couldn't show my full personality in fear of, like, being too much. It was kind of giving liability by law. Like, I guess this is my fear of rejection, which I'll talk about more in a bit, but I'm so scared of, like, you know, revealing my true self and then having someone be like, oh, actually, I changed my mind. I think there's nothing worse than someone changing their mind. I mean, I guess I'm talking about it now, but I think there's been some situations I've gone through recently. Last year, I experienced a lot of rejection. You know that song by SZA? I think it's Far. And she's like, how do you handle rejection? I'm experiencing lots and lots of rejection. But, yeah, I feel like last year I experienced so much rejection, including with the guy who broke my heart. But also, like I said, friendships and family and, like, so many different cases of rejection that really fucked me up. Which now I'm at a point with my current dating kind of journey where I'm like, I'm scared to show my true self to people, because what if they reject me? What if they change their mind? What if they realize, actually, no, actually, you're not what I want? It scares me so much. Speaking of friendship, my friendships have taught me so much about what I want as well. Like, both bad experiences with friendships and good experiences with friendships. And I guess I've kind of spoken about this already, but with bad experiences, obviously having toxic friendships and stuff like that, I've learned that I need someone kind and accepting and someone who won't judge me. It makes me feel safe and comfortable. And in terms of my good friendships, I need someone, again, who can appreciate my full personality, who's, like I said, a bit of a freak like me, who's a bit weird and silly, big personality. I need someone who, with my friends, I love the friendships I have where they're loud and crazy, which makes me feel like comfortable to show my true personality. And I feel like when it comes to like dating, I need a guy like that. At the very least, you need to be someone who can accept and like appreciate my personality and not make me feel stupid when I'm stupid. Ideally, I just feel like someone who will be silly with me when I'm silly. I just need a silly guy. I love me a good silly man. Something else that I've learned is that my anxiety is a lot worse than I thought. It's something I already knew, and like I said, I've spoken about it throughout this whole video already, like loads. But for example, every day I've gone on, I have had to have a drink beforehand. Like I'll buy like a mini bottle of wine, you know, the ones from like Tesco, Sainsbury's or whatever, and I like neck it before my date, which I don't think is healthy. Like, using alcohol as a crutch is not healthy, but it's literally the only thing that works, because I'm telling you, if I didn't do that, my anxiety would be so bad that I would think of a way to like get out of the day, like think of an excuse to like get out of it, which we don't want, because that's not healthy to do that, you know. And I don't want to let my anxiety keep controlling me, because like I said in the beginning, that's one of the big reasons why I've only started dating at the age of 26. Another random thing that I realized gives me anxiety is like food. So, oh my god, so there was one date I went on where the suggestion of going for food was put out, which, okay, even if I didn't have anxiety, I just feel like a food date personally is way too intense for like a first date, or like even like the first few days. I'm sorry, like the thought of sitting in front of someone or side by side to someone, eating, talking while you're eating. No, oh my god. I'm not super messy. I can be messy when I'm alone, but like I'll just be so conscious of like, oh, am I being messy? Am I chewing too loudly? Is there food on my face? Also, what if the person I'm on a date with is a messy eater? Oh my god, what if they have like stuff on their face? Or what if I get the ick from seeing them eat? Oh my god. Also, like, what if like we're talking while we're eating, but then like there's awkward silences, so it's just us eating? No. I can't think of anything worse than a food date when you don't know each other that well. That sounds awful. I'm so sorry, that sounds awful. So with one of the dates, that suggestion was made, and I was literally freaking out. We didn't end up eating, thank God. I couldn't have eaten anyway because I was too nervous. My appetite was gone. But oh my goodness. Anyone who agrees with me, let me know in the comments if you agree. But yeah, just like, but I think like that's not normal though. Do you know what I mean? Like, so stuff like that. Like, I feel like someone who hasn't got anxiety won't understand the thought process of someone who has anxiety about eating in front of someone they don't know. But just like generally, like, you know, the awkward silences, which actually that's not been a problem with me, but that's only because I yap. And well, okay, there was one day I went on where I feel like I said too much. I did say too much. You know when you're like scared of awkward silences, so you say things that you probably shouldn't say, and you overshare a little bit. Because I don't know what I would do if I was on a date and I was awkward silent. No, absolutely not. So I think, to be fair, I've really like grown in terms of my conversationalist skills. I think my job actually has really helped with that, because I work in a pub and I have to talk to people, like random people all the time, lots of small talk. But I feel like I've gotten a lot better with like thinking of topics to talk about and, you know, asking questions and stuff like that. I've noticed as well, like, men do like to talk about themselves. They do. That's one thing I've learned. I didn't actually put that in my notes, but that's something I've learned. So if you are kind of panicking, thinking, "Ooh, what do I say? What do I say?" Ask a question, but like, ask like a meaty question, like a series of questions, and then just let them yap. Because men will love to talk about themselves or something they're interested in. And that gives you time to think about the next topic or just time to like put the pressure off you if you're worried about awkward silences. It's great. Okay, something else I've learned is, I don't know if it's a lesson per se, but basically I'm challenging the idea that I have to be my perfect self in order to be loved. And this is something I've struggled with my whole life. Again, this is one of the main reasons why I've not, dated before. Like I said, is to do with the insecurity thing, but growing up feeling like I wasn't pretty enough or wasn't cool enough, or even just like more like, situational things in my life. For example, at the moment, like, I'm not living where I want, and I don't have the job I want, and I don't look the way I want. Because I remember when I made my video beginning of the year, I'm going to change my life in a year, I think I said that I'm interested in dating, but it's something I don't want to do until I've moved. But I feel like that's kind of stupid. Not stupid. Like, I agree with the notion of that, but also, like, I feel like to wait to do something until something out of my control happens, I could potentially wait the rest of my life, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I kind of gave up on that thing. And like I said, even though I am dating, not casually, well, I mean, I'm dating casually in the sense where I'm going on dates with people, but the end goal for me is to be in a relationship. However, I feel like if I meet the right person and they're not like living in the area that I want to live, for example, or something, then if they're the right person, it won't matter that much. Do you know what I mean? Because that was the main thing I was thinking of. I was thinking like, oh, if I move to the area I want to live in, after meeting someone, then I'd have to check to see them. But I mean, that's something that, like, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And also the guys I've gone on dates with, they don't live anywhere near me. So I don't think that's going to be a problem, to be honest, the whole location thing. I really don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. I think the looks thing, though, is something that I'm really struggling with. Because, as a girl who's scared of intimacy, like I said earlier, when you're with someone, like, casually versus when you're in a relationship with them, you have to open up so much more and open up that door, both in terms of your outside and inside. You know what I mean? I'm trying to keep this PG, but, like, it's scary. It's really, really scary. I've got so many voices in my head telling me, ew, like, how are you letting people get so close and opening up so much? It's gross. They're going to see the real you, literally as well as metaphorically. But I'm trying to not let that stop me from, experiencing closeness with someone else, Because, yeah, it's nice to be close to someone, and you shouldn't let your insecurity stop you from doing that. So, yeah, something I'm battling with, but I'm really trying. The thing is, I feel like the only way to cure anxiety and, like, fears of rejection and stuff like that is exposure. Like I said earlier, I think I said this earlier about my fear of rejection. Like I said, like, last year, dealing with so many rejections in my life. And also just generally, it's like throughout my whole life, I think my whole life has been one big rejection after the other. But honestly, like, the only way to cure that is to just expose yourself to stuff. And that's the same thing with anxiety as well. And I think that's why this dating situation is such a good thing. One of the dates I went on, I was, like, explicitly rejected. And it was so hard because I'm going to try and keep it as, like, vague as possible. But the rejection, like, 100% agree, 100%, like, I felt the exact same way. But it still fucking hurt. Like, the day after, I got a rejection message, which, by the way, was literally nicest message I could have ever got. Most respectful. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better rejection message. It was so nice. And yet the next day, because I had an appointment in central London, I was literally walking around central London listening to, like, sad, like, breakup songs or whatever. It was so sad. I felt so empty and sad. But I realised that it's not because I was heartbroken or something. It's because it was my ego. That Sabrina Carpenter song, heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. Literally, my ego. Like, I wasn't heartbroken. It was just my ego. Like, because what do you mean you're rejecting me? What do you mean you don't want me? What do you mean? Even though I felt the exact same way, it still fucking hurt like a bitch. I was so sad. But at the same time, I think that's good. Because, again, I feel like being 26 and having my first rejection, well, my first explicit rejection, all my other rejections have been, ghosting or, mixed messages or something like that, But this was the first time someone literally said to me, this isn't gonna work, A, B, C, and D, whatever. So I think it's good that I experienced this. Even though it hurt, I feel like the first time is like, bam. But then it probably happen again. And I'll know I'm not going to die. I'm going to be fine. You know? Although the only thing I'm worried about is if it happens with someone that I actually do have feelings for. Because like I said, with this situation, I felt the same. But what if it happens with someone who I actually see someone with? Do you know what I mean? The situation that I was rejected with, I was being a bit deluded. I am someone who makes every little thing like a big thing. Like, even though I said like earlier how like because of my heartbreak 2 years ago, I'm able to now look at things more realistically. For example, when I had one of my dates when things that happened where like I could have looked at it and been like, oh my god, this is the most romantic thing to ever happen to me, I'll be in love. But then because of my heartbreak, I was like, no, it's not that deep. But at the same time, I am still a delusional babe at heart. I am a dreamer. I'm a Pisces moon. I just see the world as this romantic love story. The whole world, every little thing. I romanticize my life. I romanticize every little moment. And I feel like I'm just someone who is able to take one little thing from one little person, one little moment, and just make it a big thing. And it can hurt. And I wonder like how... I'm going to contradict myself a little bit because I did say that I'm able to look at quote-unquote romantic moments realistically. I know it doesn't mean like, oh my god, we're going to get married. That's my head. My heart is still saying, oh, I will imagine us falling in love and being in a relationship and getting married and having kids after one day. I am that person. Yes, I was listening to Juno by Sabrina Carpenter on repeat. I was listening to Juna by Clairo on repeat as well. I was listening to all the love songs. It wasn't even emotional. It was just my delulu brain saying, oh my god, what if we fall in love? But like, I knew I didn't actually feel any emotions to this particular person that I had this reaction to. Do you know what I mean? Why was I moving mad? Why was I actually being so ridiculous? You know how people have post-nut clarity? I had post-delusion clarity / post-rejection clarity. Because the moment it was over, I was like, what the fuck was I doing? Why was I listening to love songs on repeat? Why was I imagining our whole future? Like, it was never going to happen. It was never going to be you. So for you to be so delusional like that, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. So that's something I need to work on as well, because maybe that's why, as well as my ego being bruised, I think maybe that's why I had that reaction. But also I just feel like, I don't know, I do feel like, I find it kind of sad in a weird way, like the concept of casual dating, because it's like, what do you mean I'm going to have a collection of romantic moments with this person again and again and again and again and again? And then either going to, because the thing is, there's only one small chance that it's going to end up with you being together forever. Do you know what I mean? The bigger chance, the most likely chance is that it's going to go wrong. It's going to either fizzle out, or you're going to get rejected, or you might get together, but then you'll break up, or you might get married, but then you'll get divorced, or maybe they'll die, or I don't know. Like, well, I mean, the death thing's going to happen regardless, but I don't know. It kind of breaks my heart a bit that I'm just meant to have these romantic moments with different people again and again and again. Like, I'm kind of not built for it, you know what I mean? But I still want to do it. But it was also really heartbreaking a bit. Like, what do you mean? There's just going to be people walking around the world who I've had these beautiful moments with, but, like, we're not in love. And, like, dates are so strange, because what do you mean we're going to hang out again and again and again until we're in love? Or until you realise you're sick of me. Or I realise I'm sick of you. But then also, I'm realising that I am someone, probably because I am conflict avoidant, I have a fear of confrontation. So I realised this from the rejection one. I realised that I'm someone who will stay in a relationship probably, even if it's not going anywhere, unless it did something wrong to me. Like, and I also, like I said, this is something I've learned from friends as well. Like I said, I've learned so many things about what I want in my romantic relationships from my friendships. But I've learned from, like, for example, when I've had toxic friendships, when it's been, like, explicitly, like, I don't like you, you're a bitch or a cunt, whatever, I'm able to, like, cut you off, like, easy peasy, cut you off, you're dead to me, bing, bang, bosh, Bob is your uncle, goodbye. Thank you, next bitch. But when it's a situation where, like, there's nothing explicitly wrong, but, like, it's just not working, there's no spark or there's nothing there, I would just stay. If I didn't get that rejection message, even though I knew it probably wasn't going to go anywhere, I would have kept going on dates. Do you know what I mean? Which is fucked. Because also it's, like, not fair on the other person, especially when I kind of knew. I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe if we'd gone on more dates, maybe it could have eventually developed. But I knew deep down, you know? Like, delusion aside, like, I knew deep down that, like, it wasn't going to go anywhere. In my general life, I need to work on, like, conflict avoidance and, like, to, like, not be so afraid of that. This whole thing is just, like, kind of crazy, you know? And it's so scary. Like, I'm so scared of being hurt. Like I said, like, the fact that, you know, the chance of me going on a date with someone and ending in a relationship is so low. And even if I do end up in a relationship, what do you mean we could break up? That's so sad. I'm just so scared of getting hurt. And I feel like the more emotionally attached I am to this person, the worse it's going to get, because it's going to become a situation where I'm going to be in love with someone potentially. And then what? They break up with me? Huh? And then what do I do? Because honestly, like, the feeling of heartbreak is so, like, one of the worst feelings I've ever experienced in my life. And that wasn't even that's someone I went on one date with. Like, so imagine being in love with someone and they break your heart. Like, I don't know, you know? But also, like, there's a part of me that's, like, I find it kind of insane that I've had my heart broken, but I've not been in love. And I feel like I deserve to give myself that chance. Even though it's terrifying, I do want to give myself a chance to fall in love. But yeah, like I said, I'm learning so much. Trying to be mature about this. Trying not to act crazy and act unhinged with the whole, you know, planning my future after one date. We don't want to do that. We need to stop doing that. But yeah, I'm learning so much. But just to end this video, I want to talk about my gratitude for my solitude. Because even though, like I said, I'm really happy that I've started this journey of dating, I also am really grateful that I did have that time alone. I'm saying this as well for anyone who's in my situation who hasn't got much dating experience and feels self-conscious about it or feels like it's a waste of time, kind of wishes they were able to date more. Even though, like I said, I do wish I had started dating earlier. At the same time, I feel like the time alone has given me so much, which has led to me approaching this journey in a really healthy way. My sense of self is really good. I mean, generally, because I have spent so much time alone, I made a video 2023 about how I'm my own best friend. So even, like, when it comes to, like, friendships and stuff, like, I'm someone who loves doing things alone. I'm very independent, maybe a bit hyper independent. Is that hyper independent? I think I am someone who's prone to being codependent. So I think having time alone has made it that I hopefully won't have a problem with that. And also generally just, like, knowing myself well enough to know what I want from a partner is really good, so that I'm not in a situation where, like, I'll mold myself into what I think my potential partner would want. Although I do think that is something I probably need to work on as well. But I guess, like, self-awareness as well. I think being alone for so long has given me self-awareness, as well as other things in my life that has given me self-awareness. I think the fact that I'm self-aware as a person means I've been able to list all the different things I've learned and all the pros and cons and everything, like, about myself that has made this journey, you know, what it is. Also, I think, like I said, I think I said this in the beginning of the video, but I'm still happy. Well, not happy, but, like, I am content with the possibility that I may never find my person. And like I said, I do want to fall in love. Even if I end up alone, like, I don't end up getting married or something, and I end up, like, living alone and stuff, I do want to at least fall in love. I do want to fall in love. I think it'd be really nice and fun and cool and sweet. Like, it's not fair that I've not experienced it. As a lover girl, as a hopeless romantic, I would love to fall in love before my 30s. It would be really nice. I just want to feel what it's like, you know? So that'd be nice, but at the same time, like, if Taja from the future came up to me and was like, yeah, you're not going to end up getting married or finding your person, you're going to spend your life alone, I'd be okay with that. As long as she said, you will fall in love though. And it's nice. But then also, I guess I'll be worrying about the fact that if I fell in love, that means we broke up, which is sad. But it's fine because, you know, that's life, I guess. But yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned some stuff maybe, or if you're going through something similar to me, you can relate. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on dating. If you are a late bloomer with the whole dating thing, let me know. It'd be really interesting to see what you guys think or your experiences. Give me some advice, guys, because it's hard to have. Yeah, let me know any advice. If you're in London as well, any advice for dating in London specifically, because the men in this country, this city, yikes, big yikes. And this is as someone who's lived here my whole life. I'm a born and bred Londoner, so, you know, help a girl out. But yeah, no, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you want to know the tea on the dates I went on, as well as viewing the unlisted video I put out February 2023 about my spicy little fling in Berlin, then my Patreon is there, so, you know, go check it out. £3 a month. And other than that, I will see you later. Love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Oh, don't come at me with that type of insanity. You know that's that shit I don't need. Sometimes I feel like